put out his new autobiography, Closing the Gap. This is it. Such an honor to have you here this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Angela. It's always enjoyable.
I bet to come back and visit Green Bay because you live in Los Angeles.
Yes.
So, let's talk about your book, Closing the Gap. There's a reason it's titled this. You apply this phrase to a lot of things in your life.
That is so true. And in fact, I would say closing the gap is kind of a culmination of all of those starts and stops. Thankfully, most of them were successful. But it's amazing how you can sometimes direct your life just by setting out and staying on course, being committed, do those things that make a difference, and all at once you get to a point. I started from my very childhood to the very extent of running with my mother in woods and things like that, trying to escape. But I also managed to go through the football situation from Eddie Robertson at Grambling to Paul Brown at Cleveland, and then the one and only Vince Lombardi at Green Bay.
Yeah. If we can go back to, because you kind of start, in the beginning with your childhood in the book and how you had to learn early on how to close that gap. Kind of talk about that a little bit. Do you call it Texarkana? Is that how it does?
Yeah, or Texarkana, and actually it all starts in Louisiana. That's where I was born, and my mother really, with my father, we lived, as a sharecropper situation, and it's very interesting when you're in sharecropper situation. If you have a great year, then some profits are shared, whatever. Many times it was giving product. But if you have a tough year as an owner and you're living in a sharecropper situation, it can be very difficult. Yeah. And we had gone a couple of years with just bad results, and they had made some attempts to say we were kind of stuck. There's no place we could go, and my mom and dad put together a plan to escape, and it was scary. I think about it now, and what I remember most is running through the woods and leaves and stuff hitting you on the face, and your mom is panting and breathing, scared to death, and you could feel all of that fear, and today I look back at it and it's still relevant.
And Willie, you can feel it too when you read it on the pages of this book. What you just described, I mean, you can feel almost what you went through at that time. Let's go on to your football years. You started your professional career with the Cleveland Browns, and then 2 years later, you're going to Green Bay, and you were not happy about this.
I know, because actually many times in practice, when you made a mistake or didn't perform exactly the way Paul Brown wanted you to, he was all at once talking about sending you to Siberia, Green Bay, the Siberia of the NFL, and it was scary. It's what is so interesting was to think that 10 years after that trade, I'd almost gone through an unbelievable 10 years. We had won 5 championships, including the first 2 Super Bowls. There were just so many things that had happened in my life. I said, wow, I would have been rushing to Siberia if I'd known.
Right, if you had known it was going to be that good.
Yes.
You talk a lot about Vince Lombardi, your memories with him, how he helped shape you as a person. Can you think of any one particular moment or memory, maybe in a locker room, on the field, when you think of...
I remember to this day, almost as if it was yesterday, his talk with the team that's one day when he said, you know, don't kid yourself. How you prepare and how you play this game is a reflection of how you'll live the rest of your life. And that really resonated with me because, you know, it's almost like saying, if I'm going to do all of these things, I need to be prepared, and that's when I elected really to go to the University of Chicago, get an MBA, because I was saying then, I want to be prepared the day I walk out of this game to talk with companies, potential employers, and I want to let them know that I have prepared for this.
And boy, were you ever, because you've had some major success with the radio broadcasting and the beverage industries. What would be your advice to people looking to achieve the level of success you've had?
You know, you just kind of touched on why, in many ways, maybe I did this book, because what I was hoping that fans, parents, and young people making their decision about what they do the rest of their life, I would hope that there's a message and some sense of how you do this. I mean, you just don't wake up one day and boom. You work at this, you plan it, you become committed, you do all those things that's necessary for you to kind of make some judgment and everything else. And this is why, in closing the gap, you know, you think about the times when you started here and you had a very specific plan to get here, and then you realize that you need to plan it, you need to be committed to it, you need to prepare for it, and you need to do all those things to make it happen.
Yeah. And you're a good person to take that advice from. Here you go, closing the gap. Willie Davis, he's going to be out and about in the Green Bay area today and tomorrow doing some book signings. Take a look there at the screen. We also have all of the information on our website. You can find his book at Barnes & Noble's, online. We really, really appreciate you taking time out of your day to speak with us.
Angela, thank you so much. And
thank you.
Hey, go Pack.
Go Pack tomorrow. That's right. That's right. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Willie. Thank you.